So according to your scheme of work, you're having statistics. Statistics is part of our courses you're doing this semester, or this term. And I saw something about frequency. Hello? I want to hear myself. I saw something about frequency on your scheme of work. So please, they told me you've already done a lot of these things. But that is that when I ask you questions, I show you are not you. So I want us to start all those topics from the beginning. So they wrote here, connection statistics 1. Wait, there is SS2, right? They said statistics 1. They said frequency distribution, meaning of frequency, construction of frequency theory, cumulative frequency. Something like that. Then for the 2, they said statistics 2, frequency, cumulative, estimating median, quartiles, percentiles, from both types. They are real-life applications. We have median of group data and group data. Hello? I don't want to know my class. I'm very serious about this. I take my class very serious. If I ask you, what is a group data? Any idea? When you say group data and non-group data, do you have any idea of what group data is? Settle down. Once you enter, you settle down. So please, anything that talks about group data simply means information represented having class boundary. So once there is a class boundary, say 0 to 10 or say 10 to 20, once you have a class boundary, such type of data is a group data. But any situation where I have discrete or ungroup data, it simply means that I won't have a class boundary. But what I will have in such case are simply values that repeat sequentially or out of order. So let's say I have I don't know what is happening here because there is no order for this. So it runs from 1, 2, 3. When you expect 4, it's moving to 5. When you expect 6, it's moving to 7. You can even come and you have something like 6 somewhere here, and you have maybe 9. So when the order is not organized, you say that it's a discrete or an ungroup data. But when it is organized in boundary, we call such a grouped data. So please write for me, I'm starting from the beginning, write for me statistics as a subheading. Statistics as a subheading. Statistics as a subheading. Maybe you see this is SS2 class. These are the number of lessons here. I'll be taking attendance of people. For each of my class, I'll be taking attendance of people in my class. It is not up to me to know what I'm doing with it when I'm studying. So I said statistics. It is the collection of information or data. It is the collection of information. You're not doing mathematics, right? You're not ready. It is the collection of information or data in numerical form. It is the collection of information or data in numerical form. I'm going to do that. Full stop. I said it's the collection of data or information in numerical form. Now, full stop. The data collected are processed and organized in an orderly form. The data collected are processed and organized in an orderly form. Now, write for me types of data. Types of data. We have number 1, the primary source, and we have the secondary source. We have the primary source and the secondary source. Anybody that is not in my class up till now should not enter this class. Hello? My friend, carry your bag and stay here. So if you're monitoring the work, hello, go outside. Woo! Go outside. Nobody should enter this class again. I say we have the primary data. So the primary source of data are simply data collected directly from the original source. So the data you collect directly from the original source is what we call the primary source of data. While the data you collect from external sources, you call it the secondary source. So an example of primary source of data is simply data collected from an event or from government house. So from where it is happening, that is primary source. But when I have to get a data or information from maybe publication, journalism, news, such data is called the secondary data. So note that. So remember, you've noted that we now move to what we call the topic, the actual topic for your level SS2, which is classification. Tabulation of data. So classification and tabulation of data. Classification and tabulation of data. So in order to classify data or tabulate data, we need to employ measures. We need to employ measures that help us make it easy for us. Please, no noise here. Hello? Let us reduce your voice. The environment, the academic environment is not conducive because you can't be teaching and all this noise going on in the background. It's not conducive at all. So I said classification, but thank God we moved to the new site that I was told. So classification and tabulation of data. The first measure or the first method of classifying data is what we call pictogram. What we call pictogram. Pictogram. The second is what we call display diagram. Display diagram. Now, it is under this display diagram you hear names. Like I know they've told this is like bar chart, histogram, line chart. It's under this one. So it's under here you hear things like line graph. It's under here you hear things like bar charts. It's here you hear things like pie charts. It's not that many have this figure. Then it's under here you also hear things like pie charts. So whenever you are classifying data, hope you are right. Whenever you are classifying data and you need to classify or tabulate this data, the essence of classifying or tabulating data is so that you organize things, bring it to a situation where it can be easy for you to interpret. So whenever you are having to classify or tabulate data and you are using line graph, bar chart, histogram, another name for this is simply rectangular or block display. So this all fall into what we call rectangular or block display. So it is simply come here. Come out here.
Don't worry. You might go still see what's here. That time go do for you like
okay, on the side that corner.
Drive by iPhone or video camera.
You are learning something like mathematics. All of you are very empty mathematically. I'm assessed you. You will not come and be disturbing my class. I don't want to hear your voice. Like I noticed they are not putting manners inside of what they are. Where I say about of what they are. I'm not just teaching students do anyhow. I've assessed you people, asked you questions in mathematics. You people are very empty. That's the truth. So please, I said, everything under line graph, histogram, fall under rectangular or block display. Why are you testing my patience? You don't know.
She's not sir.
So please, when you have to do with five chance, we say that this is circular display. And please, you have to note that once you have to do with pie chart, in order for you to solve anything pie chart, you should always have whatever it is you are looking for. Let's say any given value. So giving value all over the total value multiplied by 360 degrees. Hope you know that one revolution is 360. So for that reason, anything you are doing with pie chart will always be given value divided by the total value multiplied by this. So note that. While if it has to do with bar charts, for bar charts, you always try to maintain that the horizontal axis, that is, when you are doing this, the horizontal axis, which is here, the x-axis, should have midpoint. I'll tell you what midpoint is. So what you will use on this axis is always advisable to use the midpoint. Why the vertical axis will use the frequency? Then if it's histogram, because of the fact that for histogram, we don't always look at the horizontal, but it's for our learning stage that you mind it, have it in mind now. The horizontal axis for histogram, should always be drawn using the class boundary. I'll tell you what all these things are. Should always be drawn using the class boundary. Why the vertical axis should always be drawn using frequency. So note that. So the third thing I want to mention when it has to do with classification and calculation of data, the third thing is what we call frequency, or it's a cumulative frequency curve. But before cumulative, let's do frequency curve. So frequency polygon. So when you go to the histogram, you draw. The histogram is drawn, or you will draw as you progress. When you go to the histogram and find all those rectangles, the midpoints of all the rectangles, and you join it, what you get is what we call a frequency polygon. See what I mean? If you go to your histogram or your bar chart and you join the points, the center points. Let's say I have another one here. You join the center points. The shape you get is what we call a frequency polygon. And you know that there is a difference between bar chart and histogram. The difference is that bar chart will always have space, while histogram will always be one together. As you start, you will say it. So, but just be noting on these things. So the next one is what we call cumulative. If you don't call it cumulative frequency curve, you can call it polygon. Frequency polygon. And another name for this is what we call ogive. Some people call it ogive. So what's that? So for this cumulative frequency curve, I always advise my students that when drawing it, make the horizontal axis. Draw the horizontal axis using the values. The writing, when I start solving, you will understand better. But for now, the writing is not good. So the horizontal is always use the upper class boundary. Then for the vertical you use the cumulative frequency. So just right. Let's take an example. Stand up. Are you supposed to be in this class? Young lady. Hello.
Uncle.
You are alive.
We are live on YouTube. This man bro, camera first. Come on, the camera bro. You know the story. Jesus. Why is camera there? Jesus. I swear, because I phone like for buying this man. Jesus. Yeah, let it go.
It's a school. I don't know how you are doing it, but please, when I'm in class, I want to teach and I want to properly teach and listen. However, you people behave when I'm in your class is none of my business. But when I'm in the class, I will do my teaching and you will have to respect yourself when I'm in the class. That's just how it should be. I don't care how you do it because all of us who pass through the secondary school, there is a level people get and you start feeling like everything is a competition or a challenge. I don't have such time, but when I'm in class to teach, students should be here respecting themselves. I can't call a student to be in the class or to leave the class and let her how to stand up and she wants to show that she is respectful. Maybe to show her classmates that this is how she behaves. And guess what? The future is not as bright as all of you think. A good number of you, when you are doing this behavior in your mind, you feel like when you get somewhere tomorrow, you just put up anything anyhow, people will understand you. It's a very big lie. You will just go out there and start forcing yourself to adjust. You will not see that you are not struggling to learn things that you should have done beforehand. So please, when I'm in your class, respect yourself, learn. When I leave your class, you can do whatever you like. If you notice, the things I'm teaching you, I don't teach you with book. I teach you from my head. And I believe as I'm teaching you, it should be part of you as well. You shouldn't be answering science students from mouth. Good number of you, what you do is you copy notes, full book. But when you then ask that student, deliver, show results, nothing to show. As a school student, there are some questions that ask you in the answers that I see that there is nothing there, which is not supposed. So please, I'm not doing this or should I say, to make you feel scared or feel bad. But once it's time for class, respect yourself. So example 1. Example 1. One teacher was telling me that they did this, they caught this person, they caught parents, they caught this one. I'm not somebody anybody can call anybody. If he gets to that, if he gets to the part of calling people for people, when all of us start calling people, we will not know who should not call somebody for somebody. So I'm not that type of person. The main thing is do your work and do it properly. But when it gets to that stage of, let's say we are doing this and calling this, when all of us start bringing out what we can do, then we'll not know. So I'm not somebody that do all those ones. If they have been doing it for other teachers, it doesn't happen with me. It can't. If you have any student, ask the person who is academic that you can't do that with me. It's not out there. We have siblings close to the school. So when it's time for calling, if you start doing it, you see that you can't do it with me. Once I'm in your class, you respect yourself. Absolutely respect yourself. Example 1. 50 students sat for an examination. 50 students sat for an examination. 50 students sat for an examination where the maximum mark possible was 100. 50 students sat for an examination where the maximum mark possible was 100. And the following results were recorded. 50 students sat for an examination where the maximum mark possible was 100. And the following results were obtained. 50 students sat for an examination where the maximum mark possible was 100. And the following results were obtained. So this is the mark. We have 10 to 19. We have 20 to 29. We have 30 to 39. We have 40 to 49. So this, I'm giving you a question. We have 50 to 59. We have 60 to 69. We have 70 to 79. We have 80 to 89. Now, frequency for the first class is 1. For the second class, we have 7. Yes, for this one, 1. For this, 7. For this, 8. For this, 15. For this, 10. For this, 5. For this, 3. And for this one, 1. So, the question now is, A. What is the class width? 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 Please, what did I say? Whenever you have this thing from this end to this end, this to this thing means class boundary. That is 10 to 19. This is a class boundary for 10 to 19. This is a class. This is 20 to 29. This is a class boundary. Whenever you have class boundary, you have presented as a class boundary, that type of data is a root data. But assuming I go and have something like maybe they're giving 1, 2, 3, 8, 19, they're giving values running straight. They don't tell me find things there. So far as it's not grouped in class, that data can become an ungroup of a discrete data. So note that. So with that said, they said the first thing I should find is the class width. They said, what is the class width? What is the class width? B. They said, what is the class mark of the distribution? What is the class mark of the distribution? C. What is the class interval? What's the class interval? Then they said to draw a histogram. Draw a histogram. Bar chart. And charts. Okay, let's do line graph before I can line graph for the distribution. So, can you make an attempt? Is this something you can do? Like, without looking at your notebook, does it look like something you can attempt? Without looking at your notebook. Have you treated this course before now? Have you done statistics before now? Not done statistics before now. Okay, so please, if that is true, if you're saying you've not done statistics before now, that means that we need to start for the very first question and do it properly. Please watch. If I come here, this is class 10 to 19. The lower class limit here, the lower class limit here is 10. The upper class limit here is 19. But we always make an assumption that if this is 10 and 19, what is the lowest this class can get? So when you now want to say what the lower class, it will simply be that for this first one, if I'm really looking at the lower class, it will simply be 9.5 to 19.5. So that is why we don't call this lower class limit. We don't call it lower class. And we don't call this upper class, rather we call it limit. This is a lower limit and this is an upper limit for this boundary. This is a lower limit and this is an upper limit for this boundary. That is the limit that once it exceeds this, it's now higher than this. And once it goes below this, it's now lower. So this one is the lower limit of this class and this is the upper limit of this class. Once it goes above this, it's now the upper class boundary, which is 39.5. And once it goes below this, it's now the lower class boundary, which is now going to be 29.5. So get the difference. This is a limit, lower limit, upper limit. But if they ask you what is the lower boundary, the lower class boundary, we're simply doing this thing. So this is going to be for the second one, the lower class boundary will was So the idea is simply adding 0.5 when they ask you lower class boundary. And when they ask you lower limit, you maintain the things you have. So the lower part, upper part. So the lower class boundary for the next one will simply be 29.5 to 39.5. While for this one will simply be 29.5 to 49.5. This will be 49.5 to 59.5. This will be 59.5 to 69.5. This will be 69.5 to 79.5. And this will be 79.5 to 89.5. So this is what we call lower class boundary, and this is what we call upper class boundary. Why what you have is called the lower limits, and this is called the upper limits. So sometimes textbooks don't specify it, but when you now start seeing what they solve, it's looking as though they are using 0.5. You'll be asking why are they getting 0.5? So it's a constant that you should know. That what you are giving for each class is the limits. Why the assumption you make by adding 0.5 down and 0.5 on is what we call lower class boundary and upper class boundary. So with that said, now let's answer the first question. They said, what is the class width? Another name for this class width is class size. If you don't call it class width, you call it class size. And this class size is simply the difference between the upper class limits and the lower class limits. So the upper class limit in the first class is 19, and the lower class limit there is 10. So 19 minus 10 is what? 9. When if I check for this one, the upper class limit there is 29. So the lower class limit is 20. So it's still 9. So that means for this distribution, the class width, or say the class size, is class. This is how you go about it. So for the next one, class mark. Class mark is simply also known as midpoint. Another name for class mark is midpoint. It is more important to learn how to solve what a course is all about than you just writing notes. So as we are progressing, we noting the key things that I'm pointing at, because those are the things that will guide us when we start solving and drawing these things. Because that's what statistics is all about. It's a branch of mathematics. Some of statistics are the course for this whole. And for those of you that will want to do computer science as a course in the university, for you to do computer science is basically doing statistics. Because some people say computer science is the same as maths. No, it's not just the same as maths, but it's the same as statistics. because the type of math you use under computer science is basically statistics. That is why they have the same environment. So you call it computer science statistics environment. So that is how it is. So now that we have the same class mark is midpoint. So in order to find midpoint, all I will just do is to add the lower limit and the upper limit divided by 2. So for class, I said for class mark. Remember this one is class what? What did I call this one? Class mark is simply lower limits plus upper limits divided by 2. So by the time I do 10 plus 19, what do you have? 29, right? If you do that 29 divided by 2, what do you have? 14 by what? You see what you have there about? What do you have? I do the same thing. So that means for the first one, the class mark for this first one, the class mark CM is simply 14.5. That means the second one, to get the class mark of the second one, that is the midpoint, will simply be 20 plus 29 is what? 49, shall we? Then that 49 divided by 2, what do you have? Sure. That means for this second one, the class mark, the midpoint is 24.5. Now let's do it for the next one. 30 plus 39, what do we have? 69. Now do 69 divided by 2, what do we have? 24.5, right? So as my student, instead of stressing yourself, if you notice the pattern is following, once the class split is the same for all of them. Once the class split is the same for all of them, that is the class size is the same. You cannot see that in the part where you have 10 as the lower limit, he added 4.5. In the class where you have 2 as the lower limit, he added another 4.5. Class where you have 10 as the lower limit, he added 4.5 again. So what you can just do all this is just say this is 34.5, here is 4, so 44.5. This one is 50, so it will be 54. This one is yes, because time is also part of every exam. So you don't have to be wasting your time inside the exam hall, punching it one by one. So once you notice that the class size is the same, all through, apply that arithmetic, that's what it is. So we've gotten the class mark, or we call it the class midpoint. The next thing is to find what we call the class interval. Class interval. And this class interval is simply given by class interval. It is simply given by knowing the upper limit of the class after. Then subtracting from it the upper limit of the class before it. So see what I mean? The upper limit here is 29, shall This is the upper limit of this first class, which is the class before this one. So do 29 minus 19, 10, right? Now let's go to this one. The upper limit is 39. The class before it is 29. 39 minus 29, still there, right? So that means that class interval is simply upper class of the upper class of class after minus upper class, so upper class living, sorry, minus upper class limits of class before. So note this. This is what class is all about. So let's try to say represented with just I. This one sometimes is still represented with M or So now that we've gotten to all to this point, let's now draw using this information. Let's now try to draw this program. line graph, and bar chart. Remember I told you, histogram, bar chart, line graph, they all form under what we call rectangular or block display. Why? Anytime you want to represent information using circle, you call it pie chart. So if you need to represent information using block or display, you can either use this program, bar chart or line graph. But once it has to do with circle, you must apply the method of pie chart. So let's try to use this now to solve histogram. Get the difference between histogram and bar chart and line graph, so that in our next class we do pie charts. In our next class we do pie charts. So once you're not getting that last question, you can now do mathematics is one concept. If you don't sit up with it, what it will affect is not just your secondary education. It will affect you even when you move into high institution. There are so many things you should do or you should know, but when you see people, you start to think they are better than you. Not because they know math, but because they're giving it time. Everybody around you that you think is more educated than you is not more educated than you. It's just that the person has given more time to academics. You build habits around it, that is what they call study. You see some people, they define study so many ways, but it's simply making reading your habits. You don't have to read extensively, killing yourself, but for each day, every time, every chance you get, you can do a particular science course. Learn it, you have to know it. Next day you do the same thing. The consistency, we have to do what takes the best out of you. So please, whenever it is time for mathematics, I want us to treat it with serious respect and reverence, because mathematics is the language of every science course. Chemistry, physics, name it, even advanced level radioactivity courses to the university. For those of you that will be in health sciences, it will still be taught using applications of mathematics. So it's very important. The good number of things you're meeting me in human and us learning is something I want you to take very serious. Because if you watch down my YouTube channel, you see I teach you even higher than you. I teach students above you. It's not a joke. I'm trying to you see it. You teach final year students, 400 students. So there are chances that when you live here, you still go to school, you learn and still meet in one or the other. So it's important that you learn all those things now, so that the foundation will not be done when you get here. So let's try to tackle this question. So what I will do, the first thing I normally tell my students to do, let's break this down. The first thing I normally tell my students to do is to add up the frequency. Add up the frequency. Everything under the frequency, let's add it up. So sum up everything here. Sum up everything here. What is that? Add. So then that we've gotten down to the 50. All that we need to do then is draw. Let's say this is my horizontal axis. And let's say this is my vertical axis. You remember that I told you, I want to start with bar chart. If it's bar chart I want to draw, and histogram, the vertical axis will always be frequency. So let me do my frequency. But when it is the horizontal axis for bar chart, do you remember I told you to always use the words? Is it classman or classman? Check, be sure. For bar chart, no histogram. Bar chart, was it classman that I said? Check, be sure. Be sure. For histogram, you should use class boundary. Why for bar chart, you should use equals, which is also called class mark. You get the point now? Note it, very important. Because as you start solving, you start to see the application. So please, notice something. This was the class manager. Bad job, class manager. So let's say I call this 0. If I call this 0, I will give spaces. Let's say I give 2 centimeter space. Another person can choose to give maybe 1 centimeter space. The spacing you are giving is up to you. So I will give space. So let's say I call this point down. From here is where I want to start my graph. So let's say I call this 2. Let's say I call this 2. Now, please. These 2 that I called here, I will then come and ask myself, when we did the class mark for all these things, the class mark, that is the midpoint. Did I get this to be the midpoint of the first one? Maybe this is the midpoint for the first class, midpoint for the second class. So I will use all these midpoints. So what it simply means is that for me to apply that midpoint on the horizontal axis, I need to also count the spacing. So I will say, let's try and mark out 2 centimeters here. Before I mark out the next 2 centimeters, I must give a space. Let's say I give 1 centimeter space here. So that is what makes histogram different from bar chart. The spacing. Assuming it's histogram, I don't need to space. I can just mark out 2, mark out another 2, mark out another 2. But for histogram, there should be, for bar chart, sorry, there should be spacing. So I've marked out 2 centimeters. The measurement from here to here is up to you. You can choose. Then from this point to the next point, I mark out the same. I will maintain it. Then I mark out that same 1 centimeter. You can choose to mark out 0.5. Anything else. Let it be 0.5. I want to believe you are understanding what I'm saying here. Are you following this division? The back can make it. So I've not started telling anything, but I'm just making the back will help me. Now please, how many items do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So I'm supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I've plotted this now, it's at this point that I can now come and say, let's say this now is where I find the center. If I find the center, I call this one 14.5. Find this center, I call this one 24.5. Find this center, I call this one 24.5. Call this center 44.5. Call this center 54.5. Call this center 64.5. Call this one 74.5. Then call this one 84.5. So I will just come here and say, when I'm making this, I can call this the class mark. Remember, it's very important to always save your graph. That is why normally I'm going students, maybe because of statistics and frequency distribution, normally I'm just trying to come with their graph. So if I'm checking this now, the next thing is to check. Under my frequency level, what's the highest value here? 15. Okay, that means I will not be able to if I call it, let's say I'm choosing a scale. What I'm doing is choosing scale. In scale choosing, you are not compelled to stick to a particular scale or what works. So I will choose 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So I can stick to this because I've seen that my highest mark is 15. So what I would have to do is to simply say, when I have 14.5, what is the frequency? 1, right? And 1 should be somewhere here. Half of this. So for that 14.5, nothing that 14.5 covers this particular rectangle I want to write here. So I will then place this, I'll place this one up, place this up. So come and mix this. We can now draw this, join this. one up. Project this up. You should meet it standing straight because you use your meter rule. Anything you are doing in secondary school that you are doing like, let me just finish it and drop it, that will be it. It's a lie. You will still meet it. You will still meet it. That is why if you are doing anything here, do it as well, you know you are meeting it. It's still waiting for you. Because in the university, first year, second year, majority of the courses you are doing will be repetitions of secondary school, senior secondary school, everything. So do it as well, you know you are going to meet it. So for the next one, which is under 34, I see first contact waves. So I will trace this. Sorry, this is the meter rule. Trace this. Straight line. Then come and project the mark out points. So once you've done that, I can tell you. So this is the difference between bar chart and histogram. Bar charts will always have this spacing. The charts, the diagrams will always have spacing. But assuming it's histogram, it will be together. So when I'm doing this, I know some of you already know it, but there are some people that don't know it. So that is why we have to take our time. So for 4.5, the first under 15. So I will then come here, this should be 15th mark, trace this. Now when I come here, I project. Please, when coming for your next math class, try to come with a graph notebook so that we can be doing this inside the graph. I don't know the standards you've been operating, but a senior secondary school, especially a private school, should be very serious. A senior secondary school, especially a private school, should not be operating like government school. You should not be operating in such a way that students, when it's time for learning, they just learn anyhow. In our own days, if you are going to a federal school or private school, government students, when they see you, they be on their toes because they know that you know too much. They will believe that since you are going to private school or federal school, that your background academics should be too much. So that is why most of these things, we don't have to just be illustrating it, we just note writing. We should be doing it inside your graph book as well. So please welcome me for the next math class. Come with a graph notes book. So the next one is 54.5 and the first under 10. So let's go to the part of 10. I will trace this. So it's somewhere here. Then I project it. Project it. Now for the next one, which is 64.5, the first under 5, the frequency of 5. So 5 should be somewhere here. Project this. So somewhere here, this so the next one is 74.5 and it falls under what? 3, right? So I can see that it should be somewhere, if you trace that 3, it should be somewhere around here. So by the time I project this, then the next one is 84.5. It falls under 1. So by the time you project it somewhere. So this is what you call a bar chart. Please remember I said, when coming for the next math class, do me a favor, come with a graph notebook. Those ones that have green marks, one of it, and the one that has red marks, one of it. Do you know why? I want to teach you the living secondary school standard based on the ones with green coloring. But as you progress in level in life, you make use of those red coloring, like the red colored graph. So let's start putting you through with the two, how to use the two. So please, come with the two. Welcome for the next class. Now see, this thing that I have here as bar chart, the center of this, for this You are choosing. But what you know that is that all the bar charts should have the same measurements. One should not be like this, another one will be too big. It should be equal all three. So if I get the center marks, by the time I get all the center marks, if I happen to join this to this one, join this, if I try to use a curve to do it, that means I'm getting frequency curve. But if I use straight lines to do it, that means what I have is a frequency polygon. So this thing that you have here is what you call the frequency polygon. Just joining the centers gives you a frequency polygon. You see these things in wire, you see it so many times they ask you, do all these, do this. This is how to do about it. So with that said, before we draw histogram, notice that from this center, if I raise a line up here, it will cut this into two, right? If I draw a line from this point to meet this, it will cut this into two. If I draw a line from here to meet this, it should cut this into two. Do it for all of them. Just do it for all of them. Do it for all. Do it for all. Do it for all. Now, once you are done joining those lines, that is from the center mark, that mark you made initially, joining those points that you found on top of your bar chart. Now, when you decide to clean the blocks, what you have is what we call a line graph. Can you hear me? When you clean this, remember this one was for polygon. So when you're able to clean all this, leaving just the center lines, what you've achieved is what we call a line graph. There is no, I know, when I was in secondary school those days, my teachers would come to class and tell me, when you get to the university, you will learn it. It's a lie. Hello? It's a very big lie. You get to the university and you find out that students that attend school, that their teachers took good care of them, are very bright. In the sense that as they are pouring answers, you'll be asking yourself, how come? I thought they said it's in the university, you learn all these things. It's a very big lie. Because they took their time to learn it in secondary school. So the belief is that as you are coming, you're already prepared. Else you get them looking at things very strange. So that is why when it's time for our class, don't joke. If others are joking, don't joke. Take it serious. It will pay off. The time will come when you look back, you see that it pays off. And by that time you will be a big boy and a big girl. Then when you are telling your friends, you now say you remember that year academic daddy was teaching this. Those are part of the joy of teaching your students well, because they won't want to remember it. So this is a line graph. So to draw a line graph is simply, once you've been able to establish the class mark, establish the frequency, just use straight lines from that point to meet whatever frequency you have. So this is your line graph. So then that we know what line graph and bar chart is, and we also know what frequency curve is. Let's now do this program. When we are done with this program, in our next class, I will then be teaching you what we call cumulative frequency curve, OJI. How to use it to get median, mean, mode, name it, percentile, decile, all those things in the quartile range, all of it, semi-quartile range, all of it. Those are the things we'll be in our next class. And you see practical examples. And please, for the sake of today's class, I want you to save somewhere this formula. Just say that I said I will still explain it. That when it has to do with median, I see some of you, once you say find half your feet, that is it. That we should have N plus N over 2 minus CF all over F times the class interval. Write this in somewhere in your notebook so that in our next class you remind me to to explain this. Assuming it's in the quartile range, this will not be divided by 4. Sorry, assuming it's quartile, sorry, it will not be divided by 4. So in our next class, we know those ones. Let's touch this program. Once we are through with this program, using this, we'll then go to further mathematics. Can I tell you? Be fast. Provided I'm in this school, by the time we are going to be in this school, you are learning mathematics. Every topic you are supposed to learn in mathematics, you shouldn't miss any subtopic under it. And every example should be solved properly, fully, and in details. Because deep down I've observed that mathematically, SS2 class is endless. There are some questions I throw to students when I get to their class the first time, and I use it to observe a lot. So mathematically, this class is not up to date. So next time, once you have free period, you notice you are free, you are not doing anything, you come and call me. But some of you are not doing it. Once you notice you are free, you are not doing anything in your class, you come and call me. Let's take examples under each other. So I want to clean so that we do this program. Can I clean? Yes, I can clean. So I'm just cleaning this part. So remember I said the vertical axis for a histogram and backhand will always be drawn with frequency. But the horizontal axis will change. The only time your horizontal axis, if you don't change your horizontal axis for the two, is believe firmly that you already know it very well. But if you don't know it, always use this approach that I'm teaching you. Alright, let's progress. Let's see. The class boundary, if you check, the class boundary for the first class is 10 to 19, shall we? Second one is 20 to 29. Third one is 30 to 39. 40 to 49, 50 to 59. Let's apply it. I have 0. The first class there is 10. That is lower class there. The lower limits for that class is 10. Now, when you have to do this particular histogram, you always come, even when you're doing your physics graph, you always come and show a sign like this. This sign is simply saying there are things from 0 before you get to 10. Sometimes teachers don't show you this, you just draw line. But as you remember, I told you I'm teaching you for now and for future, so that you already know it. Sometimes when you see this in textbook, it's simply saying that before we go to this part, there are things there. That's what this thing is showing. Sometimes in some books you just see it as a line, just zigzag lines, showing you there are things here before getting to that man. It's still the same thing. So note that that is the standard, how to show it. So if I put this now, I've gotten 10. Now notice that that 10 runs from 10 to 19, right? Is it not true? It's 10 to 19 now. But if you notice your desk, most times they don't put anything under the result of this program. But these are the things they do there. So instead of writing just 19, do 19/20. 19,20. So it will start because in this program there is no spacing. So the next spacing, let's say 2 centimeters, I'm using all 2. Maintain your spacing. Let's say you are using the gap to the 3. Another person is using 4. Maintain it. So the next one is now going to be, this is 20 to 29. But instead of writing just 29, I'll write comma, the next class. And then I give another space, the next space. It's supposed to be 39, shall we? You see what I mean? So instead of just writing 39, I write 39/what? 40, that is the nearest class. I open this space again. This is supposed to be to 49. Instead of writing just 49, I write comma, what is the next class? Lower limit of that next class. So I'll then reach here, this is going to be 50 what? But instead of writing 59, I write comma. I hope you're understanding this. That is how it should be. So I move to 69. Instead of that, I write comma 70. I I moved to 79,80. I moved to 89. But after 89, there's nothing again, should we? So I can just stop it. Okay, let me just learn this one. Okay, so instead of just stop, but I'm supposed to have mathematics and further maths.
All of us are not doing further maths.
Are you sure? Because the format/accounting. So that format/accounting, how do you?
The economics. Yes,
Format/accounting. Okay, let me just hang on now. So if possible, so that we don't do it today. So let's go. So now that we've established this, I said, whenever it's time for histogram, always apply this. It will help you so that you don't give spacing and you don't miss count. Now what I will now do is to now come. For me I have, the class where I have 10 to 19. What is the frequency there? There is 1. So I will trace this, the 1. You can then say I can raise this up, join it. Now once I join it, I move to the next class. The class where I have 20 to 29, what is the frequency there? 7. So I can then say, from here, that is the 7, I find it out, get it, then raise this, and then raise this. Join it. Once I join that, now, for the class where I have 30 to 39, what is the frequency? 8. Now, like when you join this, raise this.
Yeah.
So, make sure that your own is straight. Because you know that about the board I'm not using meter rule. So anything is together. Now, we have class 39 to 30 to, okay, sorry, 40 to 49 is 15, shall we? Trace it. So then, trace this. Your own should be very straight. Remember, I'm on the board, I'm not using measurement. I'm not using ruler. So please, remember the graph I told you. So from 50 now to 59, what is the frequency? 10. So you trace it. So you're going to be having trace. So you see that this. Now from 60 to 69, what is the frequency? 5, right? So it's over here. Make sure you are taking part. You are participating in this class. 5. Now from 70 to 79 is 3, right? 3. Now from 80 to 89 is what? 1. This is histogram. There is no spacing. It's always together. And for you to be able to do that, you need to remember this is where the work is. If you are not able to remember this approach, because in most textbooks, if you check your textbooks now, you see that when they are done this, they don't normally put anything here. It's regular. So always remember this. Now if you do that, the minute you'll be able to draw this your histogram as you draw this, and you'll be able to draw this. If I ask you to get me a frequency curve using histogram, all you need to do is the same approach. Find the center, or a frequency polygon. Find the center. I did not say cumulative frequency curve. So I said frequency curve using histogram. Find the center, get the center. By the time you join this, what you've established here is a frequency polygon using histogram. What is making sense? Yes. So please, with that said, I want us to do, in our last class for, what's it called, further maths, we did binomial expansion and theory. But there's something I know everybody's doing here. Every one of us is doing physics, right? Is it not good? And in your physics, everybody's not doing physics. You're not doing physics, let me see your hand. You're not doing physics. You are doing physics, let me see your hand. Okay. Those of you not doing physics, what do you want to study? You are not doing physics. Okay, art students, okay, the art. Okay, it's normal. It's normal. So that means the topic I'm about to take now is one that involves science students. So please, for those of you